Well, hello, everyone. We are with Lindsey Gallagher, of course, from the Johnny Appleseed Metropolitan Park. You are the naturalist there. And today, we're going to be talking about winter fitness. I better really pay attention to this one, Lindsey. All right, so Lindsey, now, why would you want to continue a fitness routine outside in the winter? It's cold out there.
I know, it seems kind of funny, huh? Our days are shorter, our nights are longer, and Ohio is pointed away from the sun in the winter, and it can get pretty chilly here.
Yes,
But if you are able to brave that winter chill, you can reap some really important health benefits with a wintertime fitness routine. The first thing I want to say is getting outside gets us away from all of those circulating viruses and germs that are huddled up with everyone else who is indoors. So when we stay indoors in winter together, sometimes with not really adequate ventilation, we allow those germs and viruses to spread much more easily between each other and then on surfaces. So getting outside, getting some fresh air is a great way to get away from those germs. The second reason to keep getting outside in the winter time is for vitamin D. So with those shorter wintertime days, it is often harder to get enough vitamin D. And coming outside, getting a little bit of sunshine, a little physical activity helps us out all we can get with those vitamin D needs. And then a lot of exercise physiologists say that exercising and performing some fitness activities outside in the winter, it helps increase our calorie burn because our body's working harder to maintain a core temperature. And it can actually perhaps improve our endurance because we're not sweating as much and our heart's not having to work quite as hard. So we can perform our fitness more efficiently in the winter.
All right. And one important thing to ask is how can you stay safe when enjoying the fitness outdoors during the winter? You know, safety, of course, is very important.
Absolutely. So a famous author once said, there's no such thing as bad weather, only unsuitable clothing. And that's really important when it comes to winter fitness. But you just have to pay attention to layering appropriately, adding protective gear for your comfort, and then watching for signs of hypothermia. So in terms of appropriate clothing for winter fitness, we like to think of layering. And there are three main layers. You'll have a base layer, a middle layer, and then an outer shell. The base layer is the layer that goes closest to our bodies, and its job is to wick away any moisture and perspiration that we might have so that we can stay dry and make sure that our body temperature doesn't drop too low. And the best option for those types of fabrics are going to be synthetics or even a natural fiber like merino wool. And I have on a base layer here, just a simple kind of performance shirt. It doesn't have to be a fancy brand. It doesn't have to be really expensive, but making sure it's the right type of fiber. Cotton is not going to be a suitable option for your winter fitness activities. It holds on to water, it gets weighed down, and that dampness stays close to our skin and lowers our body temperature. For our middle layer, there's a lot of different clothing options. I chose to do a sweater today. So sweaters are a great option, quarter zips, half zips. You can actually layer your middle layers. So I have a puff coat on today. A puff vest would be another option because the purpose of that middle layer is to insulate us. So once our base layer protects our body, keeps it dry, the middle layer insulates us. It traps air, which is why down, either a natural down or a synthetic down, is a great option for that middle layer. And depending upon the specific activity you want to be engaged in and the types of weather that you're going to be out in, you may need an outer shell for your winter fitness. And that's going to protect you from the wind and the rain. So it doesn't have to be very heavy. An outer shell should be pretty breathable, but you'll need something to protect against wind and rain for you. And then you can also see that I'm wearing, I've got a hat on today. I've also got this kind of neck gaiters, so we can bring that up over our neck or over our nose. You might consider wearing gloves out in a particular temperature or environment, and then sunglasses, especially if it snows or if you're choosing a winter activity like sledding or skiing where there's a lot of snow. You want to make sure you protect your eyes because that snow is very reflective. Lastly, just be aware of hypothermia. So that is when our body is at an abnormally low temperature. Your speech may slur, you may get confused, you'll shiver, you will feel really exhausted. It's important to seek medical help, warm your body up from the core first, and get off any wet, heavy clothing that you might have.
All right. Well, Lindsey, thank you so much for coming out and giving us those winter fitness tips. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of activities at the Johnny Appleseed Parks coming up. So maybe everyone could just check the website and see what's going on. So, Lindsey.
That's a great way to see us out.
Yeah, thank you once again. And don't go away. We have more when we return.